Tonight we're talking about the Agero formula, and if you don't know what that is, it's a structured formula that I personally used to remove over 20,000 negative items in 2020 and 23,000 negative items in 2021. Now, it's really, really simple, but one of my subscribers personally asked for this because they said that they didn't know how to apply it or how to break it down. And so that's exactly what we're doing. And I'm going to show you how to plug in any negative item to this structured formula, okay? So it's really, really simple. AJERO. Action, justifier, element, reason, outcome. Now, that probably doesn't mean anything to you, but if you take a look at this, I have two, well, I started with two. We have one dispute reason and a plug and play. So let's look at our dispute reason. Delete this charge off for inaccuracy because the date last reported shows date, date, and date. That's it. That is literally it. There's no pursuant to this and Congress says that and you're required to, and where's my contract, and no. All we're doing is putting the action, delete, update, remove this charge off, this account, this bankruptcy, this personal information, this inquiry, whatever it is that we're disputing, because is the justifier, the date last reported, or the element, the missing notice of dispute, the balance, the whatever it is that you're disputing as part of a factual based dispute. So you're talking about the actual element shows a balance, a date, whatever. And this is where where we are actually putting all of our facts, right? So we're taking it directly from the credit report. Now, if you don't know where to get your credit report, head down into the description and you will find my link. It is an affiliate link for Identity IQ. And this is a link that'll allow you to see all three bureaus next to each other. And this is where I get all my client credit report information consistently, okay? So we're looking for inaccuracies, we're looking for violations. And if you want to learn more about how to do that, check out any one of my 500 to 600 videos on how to do factual based disputes, okay? I promise you, you will find what you're looking for. Now, as far as the actual formula itself, it's really, really simple. We can plug in anything that we want. So if you have charge-offs, you have repossessions, you have a foreclosure that is closed, not started, a bankruptcy, a late payment, you name it, I can plug it into this. And it's going to give me a factual-based structured dispute reason, okay? So remember, everything that we want to use to remove negative items is not in the text at the top of the letter. It's down on the actual dispute reason itself, and we're using a new and relevant dispute reason per each time we send out a letter, okay? So take a look at this formula. We have the action. It is remove, update, or delete this account, inquiry, personal information, address, whatever it is that we're disputing, for inaccuracy or for violation, depending on what you found, because is the justifier, the element, date less active, date less reported, first date of delinquency, missing notice of dispute, so on and so forth, reports, and this is where you're going to plug in your facts, okay? Because we're only dealing with the facts. So this is going to be a date or it's going to be a balance, okay? And you want to take the actual inaccuracy. So why is it inaccurate? So if you have 3 different dates, that's going to be inaccurate. You have 2 different balances, that's going to be inaccurate. You have where one bureau says one thing and the other 2 say something, that's going to be inaccurate. And you want to plug that information right into here. So what I want for you to do is start thinking of how you can use this on your own accounts so that you can write a structured, factual-based dispute. Because it's as simple as AJERO. If you haven't figured that out already, removing negative items from your credit report like charge-offs, collections, foreclosures, repossessions, late payments, so on and so forth is not easy. But it's possible once you have the right tools and methods and strategies. And this is why we're going over what you can possibly use on your next round to get those negative items removed, all right? So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, and we are going to start with collections. So obviously, when you look at your credit report, you first need to do an analysis. Once you do your analysis, you're going to know where you should be starting, right? And then that's going to tell you what you should be saying. So here we go. With a collection, and this is a third-party collection, so like medical, utility bills, so on and so forth. You are going to, for the bureaus, send out an unknown dispute.
This is unknown. I have no idea what it is. Send me the proof or get rid of it. For the actual collector, you're going to send out VOD round 1. So validation of debt round 1, right? You're going to wait 30 days. You're going to do the same thing. But now on the bureau side, you're going to use the collector didn't validate. And for the collector, you're going to send out round 2 for the validation of debt. Now, your next round is actually going to be a method of verification for the bureaus, and that's not your dispute reason. Your dispute reason is going to be based on the actual credit report and the reporting, but in that very first paragraph, you're going to ask them how they actually validated that debt, right? And then on the collector side, you're going to send out validation of debt round 3. Now, on the bureau side, after waiting, again, in between each of these is 30 days, you can check for late payments and past dues on your collection. For the collector, it's going to be validation of debt round 4. And your very last dispute on the bureau side is going to be date last active, date last paid. You're going to go into factual based disputes, and then you're going to end with your CFPB complaints and your escalation. Okay. Now let's go over and check out charge-offs. Now, let me just first pause there and explain why we're doing this. We're doing this because for some unknown reason, a lot of people don't understand why this takes so long, why these don't just come off on the first round. And they're not meant to come off. They're meant to stay on your credit report as a consequence to let other lenders know the type of borrower you are, right? They don't just remove them just because you want them to be removed, okay? So if it were as simple as just sending out one round of disputes, then hey, this would be a different conversation where I would be explaining that you're probably going to run into issues by